Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. So in this tutorial we are going to be solving exponential equations. So this is not something that we can say is difficult. It's actually very simple and straightforward. So if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click on the subscription button, and then if you have any questions or you want to join the tuitions that I offer for physics and mathematics, feel free to contact me on any of these lines on the screen. And please don't forget to click on the notification button so that you don't miss the videos that I'm going to be posting. Alright, so let's quickly begin. Okay, so we have this question here which we need to solve, and it's simple. Okay, so the first question says we have to find the value of x in the expression 9x squared. Then we have this being equal to 9 to the power negative 4x plus 12. So the most important thing to know here is just the rules of indices. So you just need to know the rules of indices and exponential functions. Alright, so we know to say if you have two numbers, you have two numbers or indices with the same base. Let's say you have a to the power x, and this is being equated to a again to the power y. Since the bases are the same, it means that the powers are also what? The same. So if you want, you can take it that way. You can just say x squared is going to be equal to negative 4x plus 12. And then from there, you just you just bring all these to the other side of the equal sign, so that you have x squared minus plus 4x plus minus 12, sorry. So minus 12 being equal to 0. So this is as simple as that. So from there, the other thing that you need to do now is to solve the equation. But again, this what I've shown you here is the simplest way you can solve this. But if you want to follow the right steps, what you just need to do is to introduce log on both sides. So when you introduce log on this side, and then you also introduce log on the other side. So I have log 9 negative 4x plus 12. So this is the correct way of doing it. Even this one is okay, but this one is more like a shortcut. So I want you to I want to show you how I arrived at this part here. So when we know, according to the rules of logarithms, that if you have log anything to the power something, so this power can drop down there and become the coefficient. So we have x squared log 9 being equal to this whole power also drop. So we have negative 4x plus 12 log 9. So if I divide by log 9 this side, and I also divide by log 9, this log 9 and that will cancel, so just remain with x squared being equal to negative 4x plus 12. So this one here is exactly what I found there. So whenever I say if the bases are the same, then the powers are also the same. If the bases are equal, then the powers are also equal. Just know that I'm talking about us going through this procedure. So I'm not always going to be going through this procedure, but I'll just be saying since the bases are the same, then the powers are, since the bases are equal, then the powers are also equal. So that's what I'm just going to be doing. But you should know in mind that I've gone through this stage where I have to introduce log on both sides, and then drop down the powers on both sides, then divide by log that function on both sides. Alright, so let's quickly proceed with solving this question. So the other thing that we need to do there now is to find the factors. To find the factors, we find two numbers such that when we multiply them, they are going to give us the product of the quadratic equation. So the product of the quadratic equation is simply found by multiplying the coefficient and the constant there. So 1 times negative 12, we're getting negative 12, and then the sum is simply just going to be found by getting the coefficient of x. So we have 4 there. Hence the factors are, so we find two numbers such that if we add those two numbers, they are going to give us 4. If we multiply them, they'll give us negative 12. And these numbers are simply just negative 2 and 6. If you multiply negative 2 and 6, you get negative 12. If you add them, you get positive 4. So we replace them there. So we are going to have x squared, and then we put our negative 2x there, and then we also put positive 6x, and then we write our negative 12 being equal to 0. So from there now, it's easier for us to factorize. We find the common factor there, which is x, and then in brackets there, we're going to have x minus 2. Then here, the common factor between the two functions, here we have 6. Then in brackets, we'll have x minus 2. Yeah, so once you just discover that what is there and there are different, it means that you've made a mistake somewhere. So they are all supposed to be the same. So we have x minus 2 as one of the factors, and then we also have x plus 6. You just get this and that. Then we say this is equal to 0. So we equate each of the factors to 0. So when you take this to the other side of the equal sign, you have x being equal to 2. Take this to the other side of the equal sign, you have x being equal to negative 6. So these are the values of x that we were required to find on the first equation there. So I'm not going to solve all the questions. There are a lot of questions here, but I'm just going to pick random questions. And what you can do in case you want, in case I've left a question that you wanted me to solve, you are just simply supposed to solve that question which I've left, and then send the solutions to any of these lines on the screen, on WhatsApp, on Facebook. You can send the solutions to either this one or this one. Yeah, so they are both on WhatsApp, so you can send the solutions to these lines, then I'll tell you whether you are correct or wrong. Okay, so this is how you solve the question. So we move on to the next one. So looking at what I explained on the first one, I think, can we skip B? Let me check how B is. Okay, B, let me solve it. So we have 6, 1 plus x, and then we have this being equal to what? We have, so we have 1 over 36 to the power that. So 1 over 36 to the power that can also be written as what? 36 to the power negative 1. And then the power of 36 is what? 4x plus 2. So this negative can be multiplied to everything outside there, so that we have 6 this side being equal to 36 in brackets. Then you have negative 4x negative 2. When you multiply this negative times everything outside there. So we have just removed the negative outside. Then the other thing that we need to do is to make this base the same as this base there. So how do we do that? So I'm going to say 6 to the power 1 plus x being equal to 6 squared, and then we have negative 4x minus 2, and then 2 times everything outside there, we are going to get 6 to the power 1 plus x being equal to what? 2 times everything there, we have 6 to the power negative 8x, and then 2 times negative 2, we get negative 4. So since the bases are equal, remember what I said, the powers are also going to be what? Equal. So we have 1 plus x being equal to negative 8x minus 4. So you just pair the like terms. So when you pair the like terms, we're going to have x plus 8x being equal to negative 4 minus 1. So 8 plus 8x there will give us 9x being equal to negative 4, and negative 1 there will give us negative 5. So the value of x becomes so we have negative 5 there. The value of x becomes, we're dividing by negative 9. Positive 9. So we have x being equal to negative 5 over 9. Okay. So this is what you have. Alright, so we move on. Let's try to pick another question. So we have that one, which is 8 4x plus 1 being equal to 1. So how would you solve such a question? It's also simple and straightforward. So what you can do, if you want, you can just say this one can also be written as a base of 8, having the base 8 as, so this side we have 4x plus 1 being equal to 8 to the power 0. So 8 to the power 0, we know that any number raised to the power 0 gives us what? 1. So since the bases are equal, it means that the powers will also be equal, following the procedure which I showed you in the first place. So we are going to have 4x being equal to negative 1. Then the value of x becomes negative 1 over 4. So if you don't want to follow this procedure, you can simply just introduce ln on both sides. So you're going to have ln 8 to the power 4x plus 1, then being equal to ln 1. So when you introduce ln on both sides, this can drop down. You can either introduce ln or log. So when you introduce log, this will drop down. So we're going to have 4x plus 1 in brackets. Then we have the ln of 8 being equal to the ln of 1. And then what you do next here is you can divide, you can find ln 1. Ln 1 is a special logarithm which gives us 0. So ln 1 is simply just going to give us 0. So we are going to have 4x plus 1 ln 8 being equal to 0. So when you divide by ln 8, you get 4x plus 1 being equal to 0. 0 divided by ln 8 will give us 0. So when you take this to the other side of the equal sign, you have 4x being equal to negative 1. Divide by 4, divide by 4. The value of x becomes what? Negative 1 over 4. So that is exactly what you will still get as the answer. So let me pick something that has different bases. So d. So let's take d. So we have 6 2 plus x being equal to 8 plus 2x. So what you do if you have different bases is that you simply just introduce ln or log on both sides. You can either use log or ln, you still get the same answer. So we have 6 to the power 2 plus x being equal to the log of 8 to the power 8 plus 2x. Okay, so after doing that, you can drop down the powers. So when you drop down the powers, you have 2 plus x in brackets, and then you have log 6 being equal to 8 plus 2x in brackets. Then you have log 8. And then the other thing that you need to do here is to divide everything by either log 6 or log 8. Okay, we're trying to make x the subject of the formula. So what you can do before you even do the division, I think you can multiply this throughout the brackets, even this side, or you can do it after dividing by either log 6 or log 8. You still get the same answer. So when you multiply, we're going to have 2 log 6 plus x log 6 being equal to 8 log 8. Yeah, so you're going to have 8 log 8 plus 2x log 8. So the next thing that you do is to pair the like terms. You take the values that have x. So we have x log 6 minus 2x log 8, and we take this to the other side of the equal sign, so that we have 8 log 8 this side, and then minus 2 log 6. So after doing this, the other thing that when you look at these two are numbers. They're just constants. You can easily find them using the calculator. Yeah, so you can easily find these logs using a calculator. If you're not allowed to use a calculator, you can leave them in this same format. So from there, what you can do is to factorize x. When you factorize x, you're going to have x outside. Then in brackets, you have log 6, then plus 2 log 8 in brackets. And then we say this is equal to 8 log 8 minus 2 log 6. So you just divide by log 6 plus 2 log 8. Even this side, you divide by log 6 plus 2 log 8. And the other thing that you can do here is I think this is what you just have to do. This will cancel. So this side we just have x being equal to, you have 8 log 8 minus 2 log 6, then everything divided by log 6 plus 2 log 8. So this is the solution. This is the value of x. So if you have a calculator, you can easily get the answer of this. So we proceed to the next one. So the next one is 10 to the power 7x being equal to 3. Introduce the ln or log on both sides, you still get the same answer. So if you want, you can be using log. If you want, you can be using ln. You still be having the same answer. So you drop down 7x so that you have 7 ln 10 being equal to so 7 ln 10 being equal to ln 3. Or I think for this one, the best one we can introduce is log, because when you use log where there's 10, it helps. Yeah, so we have 10 to the power 7x plus 3. So the answers will still be the same. Whether you use ln or log, you still get the same answer. I'm just interested in using log because of a certain special log, which is log 10. Log 10 is known to be 1, so that one would help us. So we can introduce log on both sides. So this 7x will drop. We have 7x log 10 being equal to log 3. So log 10 will give us 1. So we have 7x times 1 being equal to log 3. So we just have to make x the subject of the formula. So when you make x the subject of the formula, you get x being equal to log 3 over. So have log 3 over 7. Yeah, so this is the solution that you get. Okay. So we proceed to the next one. So I think from what I've solved, I think I've solved 3/4 of these questions. So we're not going to solve f. We're not going to solve. Okay, let me. Okay, we're not going to solve g. Yeah, even g, you just have to introduce log on both sides. We're not going to solve. Okay, let me solve one of these. So I'm going to get either g or h. Okay, let me get h. So if I get h, we have e to the power 2x plus 3 being equal to 7. So whenever you're using e, it's advisable for you to introduce ln, because ln e is 1. Yeah, so I'm saying it's advisable for you to introduce e. So we're going to introduce to introduce ln. We're going to introduce ln on both sides. So we're going to have ln e 2x plus 3 being equal to ln 7. So when this drops down, we're going to have 2x plus 3 being, ln e being equal to ln 7. So ln e is 1, so we have 2x plus 3 being equal to ln 7. So this will cross the equal sign, will remain with 2x being equal to ln 7 minus 3. Then the value of x becomes ln 7 minus 3 divided by 2. Okay, so the other thing, I think we've solved h. So having solved h, I think h and g, they are just the same, even f, they're just the same. We solve them using the same procedure. Just introduce ln on both sides of the equation. Okay, let me solve g for the sake of people. So we have e to the power x squared minus 2 being equal to 4. But no, let me just go straight to I. Okay, because this one you just introduce ln on both sides as well. You drop down the powers so that you have x squared minus 2 being equal to, we still have ln e here. But we know that ln e is equal to 1. And then you have ln 4. So this one is 1, so we just have x squared minus 2 being equal to ln 4. So from there we can just find, so we have x squared being equal to ln 4 plus 2. Then x will therefore be equal to plus or minus the root of ln 4 plus 2. So this is the solution for G. So we proceed to I. So I is e to the power 2x minus 8 e to the power x plus 12 is equal to 0. So this one is simple. You just need to make sure that you have e to the power x in the first two terms, because looking at this is a quadratic equation. So how do we do that? So this one can also be written as e to the power x, then open brackets to the power 2, such that if we multiply x and 2, get back to 2x. Then we have minus 8 e to the power x, then plus 12 being equal to 0. So what you do is you say let e to the power x be equal to y, so that we solve this question first. If you want, you can solve it using e to the power x, but that will take time for you to finish. Yeah, you will spend a lot of time just writing e to the power x. So once we just introduce y, means that while there is e to the power x, you put y, and then you put that squared there. And then you have 8 there. While there is e to the power x, you put y. Then plus 12 being equal to 0. So we solve this quadratic equation. The product is 1 times 12. We have 12. The sum is negative 8. Then the factors, the numbers that we can multiply to get 12, when we add them, we get negative 8. So we have negative 2 and negative 6. So we replace them there. We have y squared, negative 2y, negative 6y, plus 12 being equal to 0. So factorizing this will give us y minus 2 minus 6y minus 2 is equal to 0. Then we have y minus 2 there and y minus 6 there being equal to 0. So what you are going to have there then will be y minus 2 being equal to 0 and y minus 6 being equal to 0. So this will cross the equal sign, even that will cross the equal sign, so that you have y being equal to 2 and this side you have y being equal to 6. So now remember that the value of y is equal to e to the power x. So we replace e to the power x back. So we have e to the power x is equal to 12 for this one. Then for this one we have e to the power x being equal to 6. So that we introduce ln on the first one there. So introduce ln on both sides there. Remember, we're trying to find the value of x. So introduce ln on both sides. If I take this one, I'm going to have ln e to the power x being equal to ln 2. And then this x will drop down so that we have x being, x ln equal to ln 2. So ln e here. So we know that ln e is equal to 1. So this part is all 1. So we have x being equal to ln 2. So the first value of x is ln 2. So the second value of x, we introduce ln on both sides even there. So we have ln 6 from this one. Ln e to the power x is equal to ln 6. So the x drops down so that you have x ln E being equal to ln 6. So ln E is equal to 1, just remain with x being equal to ln 6. So the two values of x that we have is x is equal to ln 6 and x is equal to ln 2. We proceed to the next one. So this one, I think this E was supposed to be a power, so that we have e to the power of x minus 5 being equal to 4 e to the power negative x. I don't know what this is now. I think there was an error, so I'm going to skip it. So because we have two equal signs there. So let's move on to this one. This one is also simple. How do we solve it? We have e raised to the power 4x minus 3e to the power 2x plus 2 being equal to 0. So what you can just do for this one, it's also simple. You can simply just say, remember what I said, you have to make sure that the first two terms have e to the power x inside. So if you want to make e to the power x, but in this case what we're going to do, instead of just getting e to the power x, we're going to get e to the power 2x, because we know that 2x can go into 2x and it can also go into 4x. So we have e to the power x there, 2x raised to the power 2 minus 3 e to the power 2x plus 2 being equal to what? 0. So we say let e to the power 2x be equal to what? Y. So that we have y squared minus 3y plus 2 being equal to 0. So solving this, the product will be equal to 2, the sum will be equal to negative 3. And the factors, the numbers that we can add to get negative 3 and multiply them to get positive 2. So these numbers are simply just negative 2 and negative 1. So negative 2 and negative 1 are the two values that we have. Okay, so let's quickly move on. So we replace them back there. We have y squared minus y minus 2y plus 2 being equal to 0. So factorizing this, we're going to get y, open brackets, y minus 1, and then we also have negative 2, then we have y minus 1 being equal to 0. So we have y minus 1 and y minus 2 being equal to 0. So we have the first value of y will be gotten from this first factor, the second one will be gotten from this one there. So when you take this to the other side, get y being equal to 1. Then you take this to the other side, you get y being equal to what? 2. So remember, the value of y is simply just e to the power 2x. Hence we say, the first one there we say e to the power 2x is equal to 1. Even the second one there we say e to the power 2x is equal to what? 2. So introduce ln on both sides. You are going to have this will drop down so that we have 2x ln e being equal to ln 1. So ln e is a special logarithm, which is 1. So we'll just have 2x being equal to, then we know to say ln 1 is also just what? 0. So we have the first value of x being equal to what? 0, because when we divide by 2 on both sides, the solution that we're going to get will be what? X is equal to 0. We do the same even for this one. We introduce ln on both sides, so we're going to have e to the power 2x being equal to ln 2. Then this 2x will drop down, and then you have 2x ln e being equal to ln 2. And this one we know it to be 1, so we have 2x being equal to ln 2. So the value of x will therefore be equal to ln 2 over 2. So this is the second value of x. So do we need to solve the last question? So I'm leaving the last question as your exercise. So I want you to do the last question and submit on my WhatsApp line, on any of these lines on the screen. And if you need lessons, you need extra lessons, tuitions, feel free to contact me using these same lines on the screen. See you in the next tutorial video. My name is Hamted. Shalom, shalom.